Hey, Dani, welcome. How are you today?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. Chatting with you today. You're from Australia, right?
That's right. I'm in
How things
Sydney,
over
where,
there? Best place in the world.
yeah, it's very cold. Cold for Sydney, so,
Okay.
roped up.
Yeah, I actually lived there for about a year. It was
How did
really,
you?
really the
No,
best place in the world, I
it's
think.
beautiful. Yeah,
It
no
is, it
complaints.
is, it is. But we're here to talk about e-commerce and about the industry. And I mean, your background experience are really impressive. I read your LinkedIn profile, and the first thing that you say is that how you are obsessed about e-commerce and how you joined the industry. So, what do you mean by obsessing about all things e-commerce? What's so exciting about it?
Great question. I definitely am. I could talk about e-commerce for hours and hours with anyone who will listen. Um, it's obviously evolved quite a lot in the last 10 years. And that's part of what makes it so exciting is there's always new technology or new things to try. And it's a really powerful channel, which I've seen firsthand. So yeah,
Yeah,
big fan.
nice. So, are you more on the marketing side or more on the platform and technology, or it's maybe both? Because head of e-commerce for a brand or for any company today, I guess, needs to have expertise in both sides of the business, right?
Yeah, definitely both, but I'm a marketer at heart. So my
Okay.
background is in paid media. So, I'm a Facebook ads girl, but I love all parts of e-commerce and marketing as a
Mhm.
whole.
Okay. So, tell us more about WellCo, what the company is doing, and what is your role.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm the head of e-commerce at WellCo. We're a global wellness brand founded by supermodel Elle Macpherson 10 years ago. We launched in Australia and now we're a global brand. So the US is our second biggest market, followed by Europe and the UK. We have, maybe 10 to 15 different SKUs, and our greens powder is what we're best known for. And we recently launched a hot chocolate powder.
Mhm.
Great for sleep, great for skin, only 13 calories. And that's been really, really popular.
Interesting. How is it working with Elle? Is she still
Amazing.
around, right?
Yeah, she's very involved in the business. She's very creative. So she's very across all our copy and our creative. And she has some really interesting ideas and perspectives. So, yeah, it's been really amazing working closely with her.
Yeah, I read about the company in her story, and what's actually resonated with me is that she realized that the body can heal itself given the right nutrients and environment, right? So this is like a theme for the company. This is the belief, and this is how you probably develop products and launch new products, right?
Yeah, definitely. So, her whole philosophy is beauty starts from within. So, all our products are designed to not only make you feel good, but to look your best on the outside as well.
Yeah,
Because
that's important.
when you're well within, um, you know, you can really do anything.
Yeah, having the right balance of everything, right? That's I mean, a balanced life, which is definitely important. And so, how do you manage? You mentioned you have an Australian operation, obviously an Australian website, and I saw that when you log into the website, you have to actually define where you are based, right? You anyway want to redirect to the US website, to the Australian one, or to others. Tell us a little bit more about the operation that you manage from the maybe from the platform perspectives, and then we can discuss about some of the marketing challenges around that.
Yeah. So, we've tried to simplify the tech stack as much as we can, given all our different markets. It's something that's still a work in progress. Um, every market does have its own needs, especially in the EU. There's lots of different languages, there's lots of different countries, within that one continent. But the team is all primarily based in Australia. So everything we do is from home ground, and then yeah, we adjust depending to the market, whether it's, time zones or culturally through our marketing. Yeah, it's something we're always thinking about.
So all products are available in all countries, or there's some that are probably
Correct. Yeah, so
Okay.
we have 4 global warehouses, one in each market. So we ship direct from your region. So, we're not shipping product all over the world.
Okay. And you manage all the marketing activities in each region as well?
Yeah, all the digital marketing. So think email marketing, paid ads, SMS marketing, loyalty program, anything that with that e-commerce touch point.
Wow. So you mentioned some of the, let's say, earned media type of activities. Just walk us through what's working for you on the earned media and probably on the owned media side, like organic side of things.
So the organic side is handled through a different part of our team. So we have an organic marketing team. Sorry, what was your question on that?
No, yeah. What do you do specifically on the organic side? You mentioned email marketing, right? But are you also creating
Sure.
content, like videos? What type of activities are working for you?
Yeah, so we have quite a robust email marketing program.
Hmm.
We think of it in 2 different ways. So we've got our campaign sends, which are targeted based on engagement, different products, where the customer is at in their journey. And then we also have our email automations and email flows. So that is something we are also quite focused on, whether a customer is at a certain place in their RFM journey, so recency, frequency, and monetary value. If they've dropped, what sort of messaging can we customize to get them, back up to a champion or a loyal tier? Subscription flows, based on their SKUs. So based on all our analytics, what SKU are they most likely to subscribe to next? At what point are they most likely to cancel? And making sure we've got all that messaging and flows in place to guide them through, the best possible experience and retain them as long as possible.
Yeah, obviously, email marketing is a very good retention tool, right? That email includes like content, educational content, or just promotions and stuff, or maybe a combination of these.
Yeah, so we're very educational. We don't do
Hmm.
any big sales outside of Black Friday, and all our content is really geared to giving our customers all the tools that they need to get the most out of the product. And because of the nature of our product, which is a supplement, people are, hungry for that information. And whether it's how to
Hmm.
use the product, different recipes or more lifestyle pieces, content from Elle always hits home with our audience. There's no shortage of education,
Yeah,
and
for
that
sure.
performs really well for us.
Previously, you mentioned an RFM process, and I'm really intrigued about that. Can you elaborate more? What do you mean here?
Yeah, definitely. So it's part of the Klaviyo CDP platform, and they help. It's a very common marketing tool. There's lots of different
Sure.
tech platforms that do it, but Klaviyo have recently ish released theirs, and they group all your customers into a bucket based on, when was the last time they bought, how much money did they spend with you, and how frequently do they tend to buy. And based on that, they group them into, I think it's 5 or 6 different customer cohorts. So there's your champions, all the way down to people who are at churn risk. And that helps you. It's just a different way of approaching segmentation. And so we can have really targeted messaging, whether we know that these are a high LTV customer and we want to throw, everything at them to get them to stay, versus a low quality customer, they bought once, they're not likely to buy again. We don't need to work as hard to retain them.
Hmm. Interesting. And going like cross-border internationally, what were some of the challenges that you faced, that was kind of a surprises or maybe lessons that you learned from this step forward? Because I assume you've done it quite successfully eventually.
Yeah, there's a kind of, you don't know what you don't know. And in each country, there's a lot of different regulations. So in the States, there's a lot of, what are they called? Like people that will crawl your website. And if you're not compliant, um,
Hmm.
they will, slap you with a lawsuit. So there's apps like Accessibility, which are really important to have because they make you compliant. And then in the EU, there's so many different countries, so shipping can be wildly different. If we're going to Spain versus somewhere closer to where our warehouse is located, so that changes your strategy in terms of shipping thresholds and subscription fees. So yeah, there's always lots to consider, and then localizing for language is something that we've dipped our toe into, but is quite resource intensive because it's something you want to get right. So there's a lot of opportunity there for brands launching, into Europe to really hone in on, all your ads, your website, your email copy to be in that local language. It can be
Yeah.
really powerful.
Interesting. And from my experience and talking to a lot of international brands, there is like a common in terms of the marketing. So most of them say that if they create an influencer marketing campaign, for example, it works very, very well. Like the same script, the same style of video works very well across, let's say, Western world and different geographies like US, Europe. Some of their marketing activities, the channels that they work that are successful all over the place. What is your experience with that? Do you see some channels that are more successful than others in the different territories, or is it like more of the same everywhere?
I think at a broader level, things do, if it performs well in one country, it's likely to perform well in another
Hmm.
country. But we definitely see some nuances when you drill down further. So, for example, if we run an ad in America with an American accent, it does well, but it also does quite well in Australia. Like the American accent,
Okay.
resonates quite well, but the Australian accent doesn't perform as well in the US. So,
Hmm.
there's little nuances like that, but it changes with every piece of creative. So it's always a test and learn. And different products perform slightly better in different markets. So generally the trends are the same, but there are tweaks, and that's where we optimize.
Yes, and you're experimenting with various ads. Let's say themes like picture based, obviously videos. What's more resonating on this specific niche?
Yeah, so we always mix video assets with static assets. Sorry, excuse me. Um, and both perform well for us. It really just depends on the creative. So we always use a really diverse mix of UGC, influencers. Elle is our biggest asset.
Sure.
Her content resonates really well. Statics in terms of offers or educational content that performs quite well for us.
So when we talk about ads, it's primarily Meta, Facebook, Instagram. What
Correct.
else? What else? Any other
We
platforms?
Yeah, we dabble on TikTok as well.
Okay, sure, sure. How is it going? I mean, are you using their influencer and the affiliate network, or you also have a TikTok shop in the US?
It's still
Okay.
early doors. I think
Mhm.
our target demo are probably less native to the TikTok app.
Mhm.
We're not going after the 18
Yeah.
plus cohort. So it's not been as successful for us, but you know, people are always surprised that older demographics are on TikTok. So there's definitely room for growth there, but we haven't unlocked a winning strategy on that channel just yet.
Yeah, it's still an untapped opportunity, right, for a lot of the brands in the industry. So definitely a
Mm,
place to continue experimenting and exploring, right?
definitely.
And yeah, do you see any change in the way CPC are behaving? Acquisition costs like lately, or anything you can feedback on that?
Yeah, I mean, acquisition costs are always going up. Something we're being really mindful of is rising CPMs, not only for the Olympics right now, but
Hmm.
with the election in the US coming up to the end of the year. So we're forecasted for that, and I think all brands can expect to see some impacts on that.
Yeah. So like the main differentiator, I mean, the wellness market is so competitive, right, in the US, for example, and
Mm.
so your key differentiators beyond L, which is I think an amazing, definitely, let's say, resource and asset for all these type of campaigns. What's the major messaging that you are trying to highlight in your campaigns?
So it depends on the product. When we think
Hmm.
about our greens powder, the key message is really, it's a one and done, we like to say, or I likes to say. So it's 40 plus ingredients in just 2 teaspoons, and
Hmm.
it's for all 11 systems of your body. So you'll feel more energized. It'll help you with bloating. It'll help you with you having glowing skin. So it's really an effective, like if you only have time for one thing a day, it's really going to set you up for success. And it's particularly for women over 45 who are going through menopause. We find
Hmm.
that this product is really, really effective for them.
Interesting. And what about all the analytics side of things and data management? How do you know what are the processes you have in place to figure out what's working, what's not? Maybe things that related to campaigns or to user experience on the platforms.
So, our primary metric that we look at is our CAC. So, that drives a lot of our decision making. We have a BI tool that rolls up all our global data because, talking about challenges earlier, that is another
Wow.
challenge.
Yeah.
Rolling up currencies, back to AUD and different time zones. Like there's always a bit of a lag in assessing results. So yeah, we look in platform, we look at our BI data tool, and we use CAC, I would say, as our primary metric.
Mhm. And in terms of the website itself, UI, UX, are you always trying to adapt to some more feedbacks from customers, or you have your own way of managing customer journeys?
Yeah, so my favorite way to do this is through, I think the app's called No Commerce. It's like a free post-purchase survey, and we've just asked, we ask all our customers, was
Hmm.
there anything that almost prevented you from buying today? And then we get all those insights pinged through to a Slack channel, and it really helps you uncover things that you would never know were broken on your
Wow.
website. Is it a button? Is it this price is off? Or maybe not the price is off, but just things that customers aren't going to go out of their way to write a ticket in. So that's been a really powerful tool for us, just receiving that constant stream of feedback and then always making those on-site improvements. Some things you can fix in a minute. So yeah, it's been
Yeah.
really helpful.
I mean, designing and asking those questions in the survey, it's an art, right? I mean, you just ask an open question, or is it something very specific, or what's this? I mean, you actually ask how this button work for you, and you think it's going to, if we change it and change the location or the size, if we change thing, or just for this example of the button, I mean, is it something that someone just feedback to you out of the box, or how was it?
So that one's probably more. We also use Microsoft Clarity for heat maps. So we can see
Yeah.
if a button is broken or, if it's the most clicked thing on the page.
Hmm.
Otherwise, we just use an open field question. I find that that gets you the richest results. And then you can paste all those answers into ChatGPT, ask it to summarize it for you, prioritize order of importance of how to fix it. So,
Hmm.
yeah, that's another tool I like to use.
Nice, nice. And in terms of the backend stuff, all the supply chain inventory, I mean, how do you synchronize inventory between regions, or you just manage dedicated inventory and warehouses on each regions? How do you manage that side of the business?
Yeah, so that's fortunately all handled by our ops team, but because we have 4 different warehouses, each warehouse essentially has their own Shopify instance. So there's no mix, between global warehouses to their local market. So that's pretty streamlined.
Okay. And if you want to, for example, launch a new product, let's say there is a new product, you want to launch it, what would be probably the place to start in terms of which channel you would choose today that you think is the most effective one? And let's differentiate the question between probably organic activities and paid activities. What do you think is the best channels these days in your
So
niche?
do you mean launch a product at WellCo or just like a new
Yeah,
brand?
yeah. You can start at WellCo. Maybe let's talk about the supplement niche and wellness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so what we find quite powerful is reviews. So getting as many reviews as you can, before you launch from your community, that's really effective. And then ads. I mean, I'm an ads girl, as I mentioned.
Mhm.
I think they're really effective when done properly, and it's one of the best ways to grow and to attract new customers.
And then you would use those reviews in the ads themselves. It can be like a video reviews or even text based.
Yeah, exactly. So UGC style testimonials, static ads. And it's really important when you're making a static ad with a review to use a review that's, interesting, for lack of a better word. I see so many ads where it's like, I love the shape of this water bottle. That's not an interesting ad. So combing through and finding things that make you stop or gasp or, are almost a bit controversial, those are the reviews that you want to repurpose for your ads.
Can you give an example? What do you mean?
I'll have to find one for you. I can't think
These
off
are
the top
like more
of my head.
controversial, you mean, right? That they are kind of
Yeah, yeah,
something that triggers an emotion or something that triggers some kind of a
exactly,
conflict, right?
exactly. Yeah,
Okay, okay.
yeah. You
So
want to
just
elicit an emotional response from the viewer.
yeah. So you would start by providing the new product to probably a closer community, right? Getting their
Yeah,
feedback.
yeah,
Don't throw it out there like wild without any, let's say, management or monitoring. And then after you get that feedback, you do a bigger round of effort, right, in terms of marketing and using those initial positive, controversial feedback to try to win a bigger part of the market, right? That's the strategy, probably,
yeah,
and using paid media for that. Yeah,
yeah,
got it.
definitely. And then of course
What about?
there's
Yes,
yeah.
go ahead.
So I was just going to say, your email database is your next best place to tap into. And that's
Yes.
usually where you'll see a lot of your early purchases. And then, you lean into pay to start acquiring new customers.
Mhm. And what's your experience with influencer marketing or creators creating videos? You find it effective or it's less than paid?
It all depends on the influencer and it all depends on how good your brief is. So we've had videos that are really effective and influencers that are really effective, and also the reverse. And it doesn't always correlate to how many followers or how much engagement they have. So we found it to be really important to know exactly what you want in a video, and that comes from knowing what performs well through paid ads and being really specific in the brief, where you're still letting the influencer have, creative autonomy and authenticity, but making sure it's a video that's going to convert based on,
Mhm.
on what you know.
Yeah. And you also obviously create a stronger relationship with those influencers that are performing well and that can kind of becoming probably brand ambassadors and advocates,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
exactly. And we also have an affiliate network. So if we want someone to be
Okay.
an ongoing long term partner, that's a really effective tool to use.
Yeah. Interesting. Danny, I want to ask you about Facebook because I know you started as you said, as a Facebook ads expert, and I hear a lot of companies complaining about the latest changes in algorithms and the way Facebook is managing those campaigns. And I also hear a lot that of brands just moving to just open targeting without any configuration or definition about markets and audiences. What is your experience lately with Facebook specifically and the way they manage those campaigns?
I think every brand is different, so everyone should test it for themselves. I personally, especially with my side brand Supper Supply, I found broad targeting to be really effective. I
Hmm.
think the Facebook algorithm is really sophisticated and is good, at doing what it does. And if you feed it the right creative, it will find the right audience. So creative is where I suggest everyone put, 80% of their energy when it comes to Facebook ads.
Yeah. So if I hear you correctly, you said that Facebook knows who you are, knows which one to target, which audience to target. Just put the right creative there and let it do the job, right?
Yeah, so it's almost like using your creative to find your target audience. So, if you're using a creator who's 45 plus and the messaging resonates with that audience, it helps Facebook find a pocket of audience of those
nice.
users.
Yes. And you mentioned Supper Supply. You want to talk to us about that brand? Because I know it's very, very interesting.
Yeah, so it's a brand I launched with my partner maybe just over 2 years ago now. It's olive oil in a squeeze bottle. So it's something that, I do on nights and weekends, but yeah, it's a great place to, keep up with my e-commerce, my love of e-commerce.
Yeah. So what's the value or what's special about like squeezable bottle for olive oil? What's how did you find that niche and what are the benefits?
Yeah, so we realized how really good quality extra virgin olive oil is for you. It's one of, nature's true superfoods.
Mm-hmm.
Really good quality olive oil is almost as, there's studies to show that it's almost like having ibuprofen. Like it's so anti-inflammatory. Like it's so healthy if you have 2 tablespoons a day as the scientifically recommended dose. So we started using olive oil in all our cooking, having it every day. And we'd walk down the supermarket aisle and just see a row of green and glass. Like there was no product that spoke to us as, 20 somethings who really valued, the aesthetic of what was in their kitchen. And then we also found glass, it's not that great for the environment, which not a lot of people know. And it's really clunky, it's heavy, it's hard to use. So we would often go to restaurants, sit up at the bar, and notice that all the chefs use olive oil in a squeeze bottle, which makes it just so easy to dispense and use. And we couldn't find anything like that ourselves. So we thought, why not make it happen?
Wow, interesting. And it's been manufactured in Australia?
Yeah, so we're just in Australia at the moment. We only use Australian olive oil. It has some of the highest standards in the world.
Sure.
But everyone, as much as we've learned about how great olive oil is, so has the rest of the world. And the price of olive oil has skyrocketed. It's probably about 60% higher than when we started
Wow.
2 years ago. So it's been quite tough in that sense. Supply is down and demand is up globally. So if I had my time again, maybe we would have thought twice. But yeah, that's commodity product for you.
Yeah. Danny, how do you keep up with all the latest trends and development in the industry? I mean, throughout your career, you're a self-learner, obviously you are, but did you have like any mentors or managers throughout your career that pushed you even further? How do you think you've developed your career until today?
I've definitely had some amazing managers who taught me a lot, especially in my agency days. I
Mm-hmm.
always say you learn more in an agency than you do anywhere
Yeah.
else. Um, but since then, I'm a big self learner. So as we said at the start of the call, I'm obsessed with e-commerce. So I'm always listening to podcasts. I'm on Twitter/X, reading all the threads. I'm in a few Slack communities. So yeah, I try to stay in the weeds as much as possible.
Nice. So, Danny, how you listeners can find WellCo and you?
So yeah, you can find WellCo on Instagram, WELLCO, and same with Supper Supply, both with 2 Ps. And then I also have a newsletter that I put out every Monday, which is based on all things e-commerce. It's completely free, so you
Mm-hmm.
can find that on my Substack. It's called This Week.
Great. And we can share this newsletter link in the show notes of the episode.
Amazing.
Yeah. And great. Danny, anything else you want to add?
No, thanks so much for having me. It was great to chat.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Really interesting. All the best. Good luck.
Thank you. See ya.
Bye bye.